Hi and welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me here today. Today I'm going to be doing a favorites video, and this is something I've been wanting to do for a long time, a monthly favorites video. I love watching monthly favorites videos from other YouTube creators, but since I only do videos once a week on Sundays, if I were to do a monthly favorites every single month, then that would occupy one of my 4 videos that I do in a month. So when I sat down to think about it, how should I do a monthly favorites video? Should I do a quarterly favorites instead? Should I do a bi-monthly? And I thought that, the bi-monthly sounded like the best idea so that I'm not occupying, too much of my content towards a monthly favorites. The bi-monthly seemed like the best fit. So I'm gonna go ahead and give that a try. So today I'm going to be doing my favorites from January and February, and then I will do, my favorites from March and April, and then so on and so on. And we'll see how that goes. We'll see if it kind of jives with, my schedule in terms of videos moving forward. So let's go ahead and dive into what my favorites were from January and February. What I'm going to do is I'm really going to try to focus in on new products, things that you have not seen me talk about yet on my channel. So a lot of what I'm going to be talking about here from January and February are products that I purchased towards the end of the year in 2021. So things that I really loved, but I didn't really feel comfortable putting them in my year-end favorites from 2021 just because I hadn't been using them for that long. So these are a lot of new products that I discovered towards the end of the year that I have just been using like crazy over these last couple months that, like I said, I've been using a ton and I have just been favorites over these last couple months. So the first thing I'm going to talk about, I actually have mentioned in an empties video, and that is the XOXO Sport Deodorant. I talked about this, I think, in my empties video because I mentioned the Dr. Hauschka deodorant that I've been using for years and years. That was in an empties video, and when I mentioned that deodorant, I think I gave a shout out to this deodorant because I have just been loving this one so much. It has really edged out the Dr. Hauschka deodorant, which kind of makes me a little bit sad, but this one just works so well. I absolutely love it. It does such a great job of doing what it's supposed to do. It just does such an amazing job of, just making your armpits not smell. And I'm just so in love with it. I love the roll-on. The roll-on really is my preferred method of a delivery system for a deodorant. So yeah, I really love it. It's amazing stuff. I bought some for both of my boys. They are really liking it a lot too. My husband actually prefers the DIY deodorant that I make for him, but I might actually have him give this a whirl as well. So yeah, I really do love this one. The only downside for this, actually there's 2 downsides on this one. The one downside, which is the biggest one, as opposed to the Dr. Hauschka one, which is in a glass container, you can recycle that one. This one unfortunately isn't recyclable, so that is one downside. And then the other downside is I can't use this, well I can, but I don't really like using this one immediately after shaving. I do find that this one stings a little bit, whereas I can use the Dr. Hauschka one immediately after shaving. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm still going to continue to have the Dr. Hauschka on hand. I do like to have 2 deodorants that I rotate between, so I think that this one is going to be the main one that I use, and then I'll have the Dr. Hauschka one on hand for right after I shave. And then I also like to have the Dr. Hauschka one, like if I have a little bit of BO, and then I like to use that one because I love the rose scent of it. So it kind of does a nice job of just kind of masking BO if you have a little bit of it. I also like to use the Dr. Hauschka at nighttime, like after I get out of the shower, right before I go to bed. I just really find the scent to be very very pretty and just relaxing. So I still do like to use the Dr. Hauschka. So I think these 2, the XOXO Sport and then the Dr. Hauschka Rose, will be my 2 deodorants moving forward. This one though being the one that I do use the most. All right, so now we're gonna move right into skincare. So I have a couple of serums that have become favorites of mine over the last couple months. I think I've already mentioned this one. This is the Rose Ingleton Retexturizing Booster. This is a retinol serum. I really, really love this one. I will link up here to the video where I talked about some new retinol products that I've been trying and really liking. And I think for the most part, I still am really liking all the products that I did mention in that video. This one has really been a true favorite of mine though over these last couple months. It's a beautiful milky serum. I really like using it day and night. I do tend to use it mostly at night though, although I'm very comfortable using it during the day because I'm very religious about my SPF use. It's just a beautiful product to use. Like I said, it's a very lovely milky emulsion type serum. It's got encapsulated retinol. I believe it's 3% if I'm remembering correctly. It also has beautiful fruit extracts in it. I think it's got aloe in it as well if I'm remembering correctly. Just a beautiful serum. You guys know how much I love these kind of milky emulsion type serums. So this one fits the bill. I love that it's got retinol in it. So huge rave for this one. I absolutely love it. We'll definitely be getting this again in the future. But yeah, huge favorite over these last couple months. Another big favorite is the new product from Hanwha. This is their Hibiscus Beauty Booster with hyaluronic acid and astaxanthin. Since I have not shown you this one yet, I will show you what this looks like. And this color is absolutely beautiful. And it just has this really beautiful texture, very slick, very hydrating, and feels really, really lovely on the skin. Kind of gives that bouncy texture. It's not super tacky, maybe just a little bit tacky because it does have the hyaluronic acid. Absorbs really, really nicely onto the skin. It just gives it, like I said, that really nice bounce, which comes from that hyaluronic acid. Plays really nicely under other moisturizers, foundation. I have not found any issues with it pilling. I really love this product. And I do want to mention real quick, now that it has absorbed fully onto my skin, there is no tackiness on my skin at all. So that completely absorbs very, very quickly, you know. So if you don't like that tackiness that you can get sometimes from hyaluronic acid, just be rest assured that does go away very quickly. And I wasn't really sure how frequently I was going to reach for this product because if you frequent my channel, you do know how much I love the Sahara Rose Vitamin C Serum. That one I just love so much that it's hard for me to reach for anything else in the morning, but I have actually found myself reaching for this quite a bit. So I've kind of been alternating days. So I've been reaching for the Sahara Rose still on a regular basis, but I really have been loving alternating with the Hanwha Hibiscus Beauty Booster. Like I said, it just plays really well under anything I put on top of it, and I just love how it makes my skin feel and look. This was sent to me by the C New Skincare Beauty Box. That is a subscription box. I'm not too sure if I'm going to be getting their boxes in the future, but they did send this to me. It was a really lovely box that came with this. It came with the Lee Hao mist, which is also very beautiful. It also came with the, oh, I've got it right here. It came with the Malu sunscreen, which you guys know is a huge favorite of mine. And then there was also a fourth product in that C New Skincare box, which was the Mahealani Glow Balm from Hanwha as well. So it was a really lovely box. I don't know if it's still available. And like I said, I don't know if I'm going to continue to get that box. But yeah, C New Skincare did send me this particular box. And like I said, the Hibiscus Beauty Booster was just a huge hit for me. Super surprised by this product that I loved it so much. But yes, this has been a huge favorite of mine over these past couple of months. I just really can't stop using it. I really, really do love it. Another huge favorite that actually was sent to me by Boxwalla, so another subscription box. If you did not see my review from the February Boxwalla Beauty Box, I will post it up here so you can check it out. I don't know if there's still boxes available. If it is still available, I will link that down below. But this was the Verite Goodnight Recovery and Repair Sleep Mask. This is a very original product. It is a sleep mask, but really you could use it at any time during the day if you just wanted to apply this. It has a very interesting texture. It has this really bouncy, like almost gelatinous texture, which comes, I think, from this combination of marshmallow, which is very mucilaginous, and there's also glycerin in here and manuka honey. There's also botanicals from Australia and New Zealand, and it just has this really incredible texture that when you do put it on your face overnight, it doesn't rub off on your pillow, which I really appreciated. That is one of my favorite aspects of this overnight mask, is that it just stays on your face the whole entire night. And also the fact that you just wake up with really beautiful glowy skin in the morning. So I'm not going to talk too much about this because I did a very extensive review, like I said, in a previous video. So do go check that one out if you want to learn more about this brand or this product in particular. But this has been a huge, huge favorite of mine over these last couple months. I also really like to mix this with a oil, like in particular, I've really been enjoying at nighttime as my final step is mixing this with a couple drops of the Earthwise Beauty Black Locust Concentrate. So I'll take like a pea-size amount of the Verite Overnight Mask, put in about 2 or 3 drops of the Black Locust Concentrate from Earthwise Beauty, warm it up in my palms, and then just pat it all over my face. I really love using that combination. So this has been a huge hit of mine also over these past couple months. Really, really do love that product a lot. And then another product that I've really been loving to use at nighttime, but also during the daytime, is this cream from this company called Dom. It's spelled D-A-M. This is their Mochi Mochi Luminous Cream. I think you guys can see this. I hope it's not getting blasted out by the light that's coming in, but this is what the packaging looks like. And I'm hoping you get a sense of the cream, which has the perfect texture in my opinion. It has a really kind of like bouncy whipped texture that doesn't feel too heavy, but on the skin it has just like the perfect feeling of emollients. So it doesn't end up feeling too matte or too satiny. It just has this really lovely emollient texture and also without looking too greasy. So that way it works really well for the daytime. And if you saw my most recent Get Ready With Me where I was in the bathroom, I did use this during the day. So it was a daytime Get Ready With Me where I showed my AM skincare as well as applying some makeup. And it just works really, really well during the day. And also I really love using it at nighttime because it does have enough of an emollient texture that I do feel like it works well for me during the nighttime, especially if I do add a couple of drops of oil. So this cream, I kind of randomly found it on the Sephora website. I was just doing a search for creams during their Sephora sale over the, I don't know, whenever it is in November of last year. And I just happened upon it and I'm so glad that I got it because it really is a beautiful cream. I think it's in the clean at Sephora section. I'm not actually 100% sure, but I do think it is a Japanese brand. Really, really love it. Highly recommend it if you are on the hunt for a really lovely kind of rich cream that hydrates and moisturizes very beautifully but doesn't feel too heavy, but then again does not leave that satin matte kind of finish that still feels emollient on your skin. Huge hit for the Dom Mochi Mochi Luminous Cream. Plus I love the name. I definitely was taken in by the Mochi Mochi Luminous Cream name, and yeah, really love this one. I've been using it quite a bit over these last couple months. And then next up is the new product from Earthwise Beauty. This is their Isadora Face Balm. This is so gorgeous. I am so in love with this product. I will talk about the scent in a minute, but I just want to show you what the balm looks like. And this is a little bit of a departure in terms of the texture that Earthwise Beauty typically does with their balms. I will show you what the texture looks like. You'll see here, you'll see that it's a little more on the thick and creamy side than their other balms. So when you dip your hand into the balm, it's almost like you're dipping your hand into ganache or like a thick marzipan. It's a really interesting texture and it feels amazing. Like I absolutely love this texture. And I think it's because of the shea butter. There's a pretty high concentration of shea butter in here. So you will have to like shea butter and the texture of shea butter. But it's a very, very smooth, creamy, luxurious shea butter texture. And let's talk about the scent first, because the scent is the first thing you're going to experience with this. But I will say that the scent is very subtle. It does not like blow you out of the water when you first smell it. It's not like, whoa, this is crazy. This scent is really overpowering. It's very subtle and very beautiful, but very mesmerizing, I have to say. So when you first open it up, the first thing that I smelled was definitely rose. Like I was like, oh my gosh, this rose is just very earthy and it's just very beautiful and enticing. And I was just very taken aback by the rose, and it's Rose de Mai in here. And then it was so interesting. Once I rubbed it in my hands, and as I'm doing right now, and then I started applying it to my face, that's when I noticed the smoky aspect of this product. I was just like, what's going on here? What is this smokiness that I'm sensing from this product? And so I started reading the ingredients. I just could not figure out what was going on with the smokiness that I was sensing from this product. So I'm just gonna read to you what Ava has to say about the scent here, because I find it to be really, really interesting. So I'll just read it to you. So Isadora delivers a deep lasting moisture as well as a strong dose of protection. It has a buttery, creamy, and delicate texture. The scent is grounded in a smoky base from the shea butter. So that's where the smokiness is coming from. And apparently the shea butter is sourced from Ghana. I'm pretty sure I'm remembering that correctly. So I guess the shea butter, from their source from Ghana has a smoky scent profile. So I just find that to be really, really intriguing and super interesting that that's where the smokiness is coming from the shea butter. So it's also elevated by high notes of Tunisian orange blossom, Indian pink lotus, and the subdued green aroma of Moroccan Rose de Mai, along with invigorating citrus leaf and sweet nutty ambrette. So ambrette are the seeds for our hibiscus seeds, and so especially in natural perfume, perfumers will use the ambrette seed or the hibiscus seed to get that like that musky note without having to use anything from an animal source or using synthetic musk. So anyway, this scent, to me, like I was saying, it really, you really get that smoky nature, but it doesn't feel like you're putting perfume on your face. It's really quite amazing. It gives this very grounded yet also intoxicating experience. It's very difficult to explain and put into words how it makes me feel. And then from there, you do smell a little bit of that green rose, maybe just a little bit of the neroli. For me, I don't really get a lot of the neroli. It's mostly a combination of that smokiness, the nuttiness, a little bit of the green rose. And then it actually is pretty ephemeral. I would say it's very correct that the scent does dissipate quickly, which in my book is definitely a plus. I really don't want a tenacious scent on my face. That is not my jam. I just don't want that. I really like that ephemeral nature of a beautiful scent experience, while you're massaging products onto your face, whether it's a cleanser, massaging a cleanser onto your skin or massaging an oil onto your face, your moisturizer, whatever it is. And then it just dissipates once you're done with your ritual. Like for me, that is perfection. And so that is my experience with Isadora. The scent is really incredible. I really do love it. And hands down, this is my favorite balm from Earthwise Beauty. I love the texture. I love the scent. I do not have any problems with shea butter on my face. I know that some of you might. I'm sure that Ava and her team have sourced an incredibly, high quality shea butter. I know that certain people can tolerate shea butter depending upon the quality of the shea butter, the sourcing of the shea butter. So if this does sound intriguing to you and you are one of those people who it sort of depends upon the quality of the shea butter, I would encourage you to get the travel size or, the mini size that Earthwise Beauty does offer. And you can get 10% off with my code Trish, Trish. So yeah, I would encourage you to do that, to just try a small size of Isadora if this does sound intriguing to you. But I am just absolutely smitten with this balm. Like I said, definitely my favorite balm as of yet that I have tried from Earthwise Beauty. So huge favorite of mine over these last couple months. I have really been enjoying using it. A little bit goes a long way. And thank you so much to Earthwise Beauty for sending this to me because I have thoroughly been enjoying it. So now we are going to move on to makeup. And I think what I'm going to talk about first is concealer. And as I mentioned in a previous video where I talked about what's on my wish list and my no-buy video, I am on a no-buy, but prior to my no-buy in the end of 2021, I did a lot of purchasing. And in that frenzy, I did purchase the Kosas concealer. And I think my color is 3.5W. If it is not, I will put it down below what my correct color is, but I'm pretty sure it's 3.5W. This has just been a huge favorite of mine. I mean, I still do love the Rare Beauty concealer, but it is more of a full coverage concealer. So that is a product I reach for when I have really bad dark circles under my eyes, especially if I'm going to be filming. This is definitely a product I reach for on a day-to-day basis. And as I mentioned, I did do a recent Get Ready With Me video, the one that I am in my bathroom. And I mentioned that this is, like I said, this is more of a daily concealer, and it is so easy to use and it just blends like a dream. And I actually did use it today. So this is what I do have on my face today. And I did not actually put any kind of powder on top of it. I did not set it. So this is what it looks like. This is what the wand looks like. And what I do is I just touch it directly to my face. I usually do 3 or 4 dots along, my under eyes, and then I just take it down along my nose. And a lot of times I don't even use foundation or anything on top of it. I might just have my sunscreen or my tinted moisturizer underneath it, put that on top of it, and then I'm just good to go because, like I said, it blends so well. What I've been using lately, which has been working really well, is the Say Sun Visor. This is a tinted moisturizer. They only have one color. This is what the color looks like, and it does work well for me. It has a very thin texture, somewhat comparable to the Josh Rosebrook, but I do think the Josh Rosebrook Nutrient Day Cream is definitely more of a moisturizer, more of an all-purpose product. So that one is definitely thicker, definitely feels more like a 2-in-1 moisturizer. This one, I don't think I would just use as a moisturizer for me, since I do lean a little bit on the dry side. But anyway, this one is actually very, very beautiful. I really do like it. I do really like the texture a lot. So what I've been doing is I will, put this one on top of a light moisturizer. So I'll do my toner, I'll do a serum, and then maybe just like a light moisturizer, like something like this actually has been working well during the day. Put this on top of it, put on a little bit of concealer, and then actually what has been amazing is using the Lisa Eldridge foundation on top of the Say Sun Visor, because this foundation is actually amazing. It is just so, so beautiful, but it does have kind of that satin matte finish that I really don't actually love. But when it is on top of something very emollient, something kind of glowy and dewy, which hopefully you can get a sense here that the Sun Visor is very, very glowy. And actually, now that I think about it, I did use this also in that Get Ready With Me recently that I did in the bathroom. In fact, I think I used a lot of these products in that video, so you can see a lot of these in action in that video. But anyway, the Lisa Eldridge, for my purposes, I really like the finish that it gives when it is on top of something very emollient, something very glowy and dewy. So this on top of something like this Say Sun Visor works really, really well. And then just to let you know, the color that I have is 16, which is their true olive color. And I at first thought that maybe it was gonna be a little bit too dark for me, but I actually feel like this is working really well for me. So on the days that I think that maybe it's a little bit too dark for me, like in the winter, I do mix it with something like the Weleda Skin Food. And so what I did today, I do have the Sun Visor on first, and then I did 1 pump of the Lisa Eldridge foundation, and then just like a little pea size of the Skin Food, blended those together, and then I put that on top. So that is what I have on my face today. I just have the Kosas concealer and then these two combined together as my foundation. And that combination has been working really well for me. It is something that I have been reaching for very frequently over the last 2 months. I really love, like I said, the Lisa Eldridge foundation combined with something just slightly emollient or even something very emollient, because like I said, that satin matte finish just is not my jam. I don't like how it spreads over my face. So the Lisa Eldridge by itself does not work well for me, but with something emollient either mixed in with the Lisa Eldridge foundation or on top has just actually been a dream. And so I really do love the foundation, like I said, when it's mixed with something very emollient or when it's on top of it. So the Lisa Eldridge actually has been a favorite of mine over these last couple months, but like I said, when it is fine-tuned for my needs with something emollient. I also do want to give a quick shout out to the Tower 28 Sunny Days. I did put this in my favorites of 2021, still is a favorite of 2021. I just wanted to say real quick, the other combination that I've really been enjoying are these two combined together. So what I will do is I will put the Sunny Days in the palm of my hand, just squeeze out maybe about an inch of the Sunny Days and then a couple pumps of the Malu and mix those in the palm of my hand for a really fast tinted moisturizer. I mean, I know that the Sunny Days is marketed as a tinted moisturizer, but for me, it is pretty high coverage. I would say it's at least medium coverage in my book. It doesn't really strike me as a tinted moisturizer. I feel like tinted moisturizers are a little bit more of a sheer to light coverage. So when I combine these two together, it makes for just a really easy, quick, just like rub on my face, you know, like slap it on my face and run out the door, just put on a little bit of eyeliner and mascara, and then I'm good to go. So this has become also a favorite. I would say kind of more in like the last 2 to 3 weeks, I've been using this as one of those like no brainer, you know, oh geez, I got to get something on my face real quick before I head out the door, just super fast. I don't need to use any kind of tools except for my hands. And then, like I said, just get some quick eyeliner, mascara, and then I'm good to go out the door. So this has been a favorite of mine over the last few weeks. And then speaking of eyeliner and mascara, I have a couple of products I need to tell you about from Victoria Beckham. I've actually had her eyeliner. This is the bronze one. I've had this for a while. I think I've maybe had it for a couple of years, but over the last couple months, this has just become a huge favorite of mine. So this is what bronze looks like. And I don't know if I've ever showed you this on my channel, but that's just a quick swatch of it. And it is just such a beautiful, beautiful, obviously bronzy brown color. And the reason why I've been loving it and I've just kind of like rediscovered it from my stash is because it is so easy to apply. And again, this is another product that I used in that Get Ready With Me that I keep mentioning. But the reason why I like it so much is you barely have to touch it to your waterline. And I love using eyeliner in my waterline, but you barely have to touch it to your waterline to get the pigmentation to drop down onto your waterline. And it's just so easy. And I just love it. I love the look that it gives you. And I actually do have it on my eyes today. And so I applied it to my waterline and then just kind of smoked it out a little bit with a brush. I don't have it on the top of my lids today, but it's so easy to, you know, apply it to the top of your lid kind of in a messy way. And then I just use my ring finger, the pad of my ring finger, and then smudge it out. So like I said, I've just been in love with this the last couple months because it's just so easy to use. And it's just one of those products that I rediscovered in my stash. And then I did get the Victoria Beckham mascara. This was a part of my makeup rampage that I went on at the end of last year, and I am just really loving this mascara. It is crazy expensive, but in my mind, it is worth it. It has this really lovely weighty glass tube, and then this is what the brush looks like, which I love. I did not realize it was gonna be so skinny, and I just love these skinny brushes. And the reason why I love it is because it just grips your lashes so well. I mean, it just feels like it's like grabbing them and then it like caresses them at the same time. Like it's just amazing. It's just like this gentle hug for your lashes. It's pretty incredible. And because it tapers down right here, when I'm doing my left eye, I can get into this inner corner right here in a way that I've never been able to before. It almost feels like these inner lashes right here have never been touched before. It's like, you know how when a part of your body's being like tickled or scratched and you're like, oh my God, that feels so good. Like I haven't been, I haven't had my whatever part of the body is, like you haven't had it scratched in so long. And you're like, oh, that feels so good. That's what these little inner lashes feel like. Like it just gets in there so well. I can't do it. I don't have a mirror in front of me. I wasn't prepared to do this, so I'm looking in the viewfinder, but it just gets in there in such a way that just feels like so secure. Like I don't feel like I'm not worried that I'm going to stab myself in the eyeball or like screw up the rest of my makeup. I really can't explain it, but the design and the feel of this brush is just perfect and I absolutely love it. It is a tubing mascara, so if you don't like tubing mascaras, then this mascara is not going to be for you. I love tubing mascaras. I love skinny brushes. I really like the little curve to it. I love how it feels. I love, like I said, I love the grip on my lashes, but I also feel like it does it in a gentle way. It's kind of hard to explain. It does not give you big voluminous lashes. It is more of a lengthening, kind of a fluttery look, but I really like that on a day-to-day basis. So I would say that if this weren't so expensive, this would definitely become just my everyday go-to mascara. I think that the Glossier Lash Lick will continue to be just kind of like my workhorse, the mascara that I reach for, if I'm gonna go play tennis or I've just got errands to run. This feels sort of like that special everyday type of mascara. So I'm not gonna reach for this every single day because I just don't wanna blow through this and have to purchase one, every 2 months, even though I know you're supposed to replace your mascara every 2 to 3 months. But I would like this to be a mascara that I need to repurchase every 6 months rather than every 2 months. That is just between me and you guys. That's not necessarily something I'm advocating, but I'm really bad at replacing my mascara. So don't follow my lead on that one. All right, so moving on to cheeks. I have one blush to talk about. This is the Pat McGrath blush, which is a little difficult to open, but I did get it open and I got Flirtatious. And as you can see, it is this beautiful kind of nudie, tawny pink. And I do have it on my cheeks today. I don't know if you can get a real sense of it because, as I always say, I do work with natural light, so I do feel like sometimes the colors that are on my face do get a little washed out. But hopefully you can get a sense of this beautiful, like kind of tawny, nudie, kind of browny pink color that is just, I don't know, it's just really beautiful. I feel like it is very flattering to my skin tone. I've mentioned this many times, but I have light to medium olive tone skin, and blush can be a little bit hard for me to dial in, and I just feel like this color is just perfect on my skin tone. So if you have a similar skin tone to me, I feel like this blush is really, really perfect. So yeah, I just absolutely love this blush. I think it is so, so pretty. We can talk about the texture here for a second. I mean, I wish you could feel this. It just feels like satin. It is so smooth, so creamy. Oh my God. I mean, it just feels so good in my hand, like on my fingers right here. It just feels amazing. I mean, the texture is just so beautiful. I mean, like I said, it just feels like just creamy, satiny. It's just beautiful. One of the most beautiful powder blushes I've ever experienced. So if you've been on the fence about the Pat McGrath blushes, highly, highly recommend. And then the other product I want to mention, which should have gone in my favorites from 2021, and I cannot believe I forgot to mention this, is the Westman Atelier Lit Up Stick and Nectar. So I'm including it in my favorites here from January and February. And I should have mentioned this in my favorites from 2021. So yeah, it's getting a nod here for January and February because I use this all the time. I don't know if you guys are gonna be able to see this swatch here, but it is this beautiful peachy highlighter that just looks so beautiful and so natural. I do have it on my cheeks today, but I'll put on a little bit more. But yeah, I feel like such an idiot that I totally forgot to put this on my favorites of 2021 because it is hands down my favorite highlighter. I have a lot of highlighters and this is the one I reach for all the time. If I could only have one highlighter, it would be this one. I could easily get rid of all the highlighters that I have in my collection and be absolutely happy ecstatic, overjoyed if this was the only one that I had, because it is just sheer perfection in my book. I absolutely love it. So there you go. Favorite highlighter of January and February, favorite highlighter of 2021, favorite highlighter of all time. I love you, and I'm sorry that I forgot to put you in my favorites of 2021. So hopefully I've sufficiently redeemed myself for making that error from my 2021 favorites, and let's move on to lips. I do have a couple favorites. They are from Pat McGrath, and they are a lip liner and a lip gloss. So the lip liner is the Divine Rose lip liner, and the lip gloss is the Divine Rose lip gloss. So I typically would not have purchased a lip liner that is so dark, but it was a part of a set, and there's also the Divine Rose lipstick that I got in the set, so it was a 3-piece set. And I have not used the lipstick that much. I think I've only reached for it maybe once or twice because I am just so in love with this lip gloss. So I didn't feel like I could put the lipstick in my favorites quite yet, because I just have not used it that much. So that might be in a future favorites video. Maybe it'll be in the March and April favorites. But these, on the other hand, are definitely in my favorites because I've been reaching for them quite a bit. But what I was starting to say is I normally wouldn't get a lip liner that is this dark. I usually go for more nudie ones. And you'll see here that this is pretty dark. But since this was a part of a set, and I really wanted to get the Divine Rose lipstick, and I really wanted to get the Divine Rose lip gloss, I just went ahead and got the set. And I'm so glad that I did, because I do have this liner on today, and I do think it works really well with this Divine Rose lip gloss. So that's what I have on today. I've got the Divine Rose lip liner on with the Divine Rose lip gloss. And they just blend so well together. And I think it looks kind of nice to have a little bit of that darker lip liner on with the Divine Rose lip gloss that is a little bit lighter. And I'm gonna put a little bit more on so you can see. And this lip gloss is incredible. I really do feel like this has become my favorite lip gloss formula. And I will show you a swatch here so that you can kind of get an idea. But I find it to be a really pretty medium rose color. It is pretty neutral. I think in the tube it looks pretty cool, but on my skin things do become a little warm. So even though it might be a little bit of a cool pink in the tube, I think on my skin it actually becomes a little bit neutral. Maybe even slightly warm. Either way, I don't think it becomes super warm on my face, which is a good thing because I don't like really, really warm pinks on my skin. I don't think it's super flattering on me. For whatever reason, I like more of that kind of like dusky, dusty type of pink on my olive skin. I think it is more flattering. So overall, these two products from Pat McGrath, these two lip products in the Divine Rose colorway, I think are really flattering on my skin. I do actually really like the lipstick, but like I said, I just haven't worn it enough to know the formula and to call it an actual favorite, where I can definitely say this lip gloss formula is amazing. I absolutely love this formula. It is not too tacky. It feels really comfortable on the lips. The staying power is amazing. It stays really nicely underneath masks. So it wears really well under masks. And I absolutely love it. It is definitely becoming one of my favorite lip gloss formulas. And yeah, I just absolutely love it. And I think this color is just so beautiful. It is, I've been having a really hard time reaching for anything else now that it is in my collection. So that does it, you guys. Those are my favorites for the months of January and February. If you guys enjoyed this, definitely give me a thumbs up, and do let me know down below if you would like me to continue with the bi-monthly favorites. I really enjoyed kind of, doing this roundup and taking a look at what I have been using a lot over these last couple months. So yeah, definitely let me know if you would like me to continue doing this, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.